Sub YouTube, sub Twitch, welcome to my account review for the summer 2026 season. The season was pretty good, I would say. Let's just go straight into the units. I have nothing to say about the season in particular. I had a good time, and I'll leave it at that. So first unit is Ran. This unit is complete trash. This unit is complete trash. There was a time when, before Ivana was out, he was good, right? When you first pick DN, Ran is only good if you have DN. But the problem is you can't really pick DN anymore, so Ran is just trash. So why he has like my second fastest gear, low key, I have no clue. But I didn't know who to put this thing on because it's attack percent main, and I need my Arno to be slow, so I just gave it to Ran. But like, I guess strictly for racing, he's still not that good because I'm only 320, so it's like, I guess I just kill myself. I mean, fuck. I guess I just lose the game. So we'll go to the next character. Briar Witch Iceria. So, for this character, I also stopped picking as much after RNL came out because RNL shits on Briar. It's not even funny. Like, beforehand, the only counter to Briar was Zeo and Scales. But like, Zeo it's playable against Zeo. If you have like Acades on 4 or something. But it's unplayable versus Scales. But RNL, Briar is unplayable versus RNL. Unless you have like a 335 Briar or 330 Briar. So you can only Briar cleave if there's no Scales or RNL on the enemy team. But yeah, which is why if you look at my Slendy, slendy.gg, Xariar. So, how do I do it? New season? Oh fuck, bro. What happened to the thingy? Shit. Uh-oh. Okay, well, either way, from the beginning of last season to around RNL, I had around 500 games. And then from RNL on to the end of the season, I only had 200 games. So I had half the amount of games as I did beforehand. So, yeah, Briar is kind of hard to pick. But if there's no RNL and Scales, like they pre-ban those two, then she's pretty good. And then, oh wait, I will say though, there was one scenario where sometimes I would go Briar on 2 with Zeo, and that draft was actually pretty good. So how do I do this? Briar on my draft, Zeo on my draft, and then Scales. Yeah, something like this. Scales, Briar on 2 into Zeo 3. I think that was pretty good. Because this, you don't really care about RNL if you have Briar on 2 because you have Zeo 3, right? And Briar makes it so they can't draft anti or like revive characters. And then it also gives your team Death Break. So, I mean, I thought Briar on 2 with this is pretty good. But yeah, Briar on 3, yeah, no RNL, no Scales, and then you should be good. Okay, we go on to ML Luna. One of my goats this season for sure. So, the reason why she is at 310 speed is because I want her to be faster than my RNL. So, because I'm playing Belly and Harsetti pre-bans, ML Luna on fast gear is super strong. Because they can't obviously play Harsetti Belly, which are like the biggest counters to Luna Cleave. And the way I would draft her is I would take Barunka and RNL 1-2. Like if they give me Barunka and RNL, or if there's no RNL and I have Barunka, then Luna on 3 becomes super strong. Because she's the only weakness to Luna is getting raced, right? So stuff like Zeo and Renak, but you can't really go Zeo and Renak into Barunka, because I can always pivot out, right? So Luna on 3 is super strong against those like Biblis Estelle drafts that you can seal off. And then you can play like SBA 4, you can play Rowana 4, you can play who else is good? DN, right? You can play DN with Luna as well, because if you pick DN versus Biblis, then Biblis will cleanse off the unbuffable instead of the seal, so she'll still be sealed, which is really strong. And Luna RNL, they were a really, really strong combo because you can seal everyone, and then your RNL can just get a free kill for fun. So you already have a win con with Luna RNL. It's a super strong combo, I think. So I think Luna near the end of the season was my second most played opener. Yeah, I'm on crit set because I don't have gear. What can you do? I don't have immunity either, but yeah. Luna, I would rate as a 6 or 7 out of 10. Just kidding. Maybe like a 7 or an 8. Okay, Renak, I didn't pick at all because, I mean, look at her speed, right? Her speed is fucking trash. Yeah, I didn't pick this Renak at all. I mean, she's too slow, and Renak and cleave is terrible. You would play Renak aggro, if anything, right? Fast imprint in case I needed a fast imprint. Para's cheeks. This unit's cheeks. Okay, let's talk about my other MVP of the season. So, she has 3.5k attack, which is pretty high. This is because of the attack neck, so that barrier is like fucking humongous. I originally ran an F ring on her, but because I'm pre-banning Bellion, I'm always soul burning RNL, I realized, in my matches. So I didn't need to run effectiveness as much. Because landing the S2 debuffs is more important than landing the fear, I realized. So especially against characters like Barunka, you need to land that Death Break to kill her off. Otherwise, that Barunka's never gonna die. So I gave her more attack so she can start one-shotting Barunkas after a soul burn. Right. Again, it's tuned to go after my Luna and after my Briar. A lot of my pieces just have random effectiveness tagged onto it as well. Just because with this gives her around like 170 F, I think. So she can tag some ER characters if it's not ER Warfare. So stuff like Elena, stuff like Emma Eula on Bastion of Hope, stuff like Arunga, right? She can tag with the S3, maybe. And obviously Fear Wincon is a very, very real thing. Now, I'm not running Talisman, I'm running Butterfly's Baptism. And the reason for this is because I'm playing super fast, right? A lot of times I don't actually get to the last stack of Talisman. My games end way faster. So I'd rather have the flat 20 evasion from the start, and then just get that 90% evasion win con. I think the attack and speed are also nice, right? Because I think with Talisman, it boosts evasion and attack, I think. So I'd rather have like attack and speed as well. Just a lot faster if possible. But I think Talisman's also okay, but yeah, I've realized like in my games, I'll just take the 10% lose con if it happens. But usually in those scenarios, my Talisman stacks aren't maxed out anyways. So I would get more value from this, honestly. But yeah. MVP unit. 300 Heartsteady, this is for Guild War. So there's a very, very strong tech going around where you run Heartsteady with 300 speed, Politica, and Caesarea. That comp is unbeatable or unlosable on offense, right? You can run this against anything, preferably against other Heartsteady teams, and you just start lapping around Heartsteady. This shit's fire, bro. This shit's fire. Okay, did not pick Salome. I picked Salome into what's that Chud's name? Chudwig, right? She's very, very good into Chudwig. So, for example, if I'm playing Briar on 3 and my brother picks Zeo Chudwig on 4, then my response would be Acades plus Salome. Right. So obviously with Sweet Miracle, she doesn't give a fuck about Ludwig, because she'll just cleanse it off and then you can do other stuff against this team. I didn't really pick Salome early, per se. I think that's more of a turn 2 thing. She was more of a counter pick. As like a emergency response against CO sometimes. If they have like Chudwig or like a debuffer. Obviously, you just can't pick her into P-Flan because of the 2-turn debuff thing. That's pretty much it. I mean, 299 speed's like pretty okay. I tried to get as much HP as her, but I also needed the speed, which is why I still on a crit chance neck. But like, I did what I could. Sometimes I would lose games because my Salome Soulburn S3 against Fearman wouldn't kill, but we don't talk about those matches. Sinji, this was a very old tech I had when people were target banning me. Like if they pre-ban Briar or something like that. Then I would play Sinji on 3 if they picked like early Ruel Nodos. And then just stop the revive. Obviously prove a friendship so I can put something in the front and boost her off the bridge. This Famir character I picked on 3 if they played the Brunka Scales Celine angle. Right, so for example, they first pick Brunka, and I can go like Zio plus another opener, like maybe it's Luna, and they go there. Oh no, they first pick Scales, sorry, yeah. And they go like my Zio Luna, and they go like Brunka Celine, then I'll go Famir on 3. So she has a guarantee when they take the turn. And then if they race, I'll just pick Imprints. If not, then I'll just pick more bridges like Dian on 4 maybe. So yeah, only against the Celine comps. And then in terms of speed, I think around close to 300 is good, just to make sure she guarantees take the next turn if her artifact procs. But yeah, during the season I had like a plus 24, so I lost like 3 games due to this shit not proccing. So I mean, now it's plus 30. Thank you, Jack. Okay. This character is broken. This character is fucking insane. I think this was my probably top 3 units of the season for sure, along with Zio and Luna. Zio, Luna, and Sage Ball, my goats of the season. God, let me just show you something real quick. Okay, ready? Ready? Holy shit, chat. Guys, is Sage Ball the fucking goat or what? Okay, let's check the win rate against just Zio. It's a 73% win rate against Zio. So, the way you would draft Sage Ball against Zio is... Well, first let me talk about what Sage Ball does and why he's so strong. So, the very nice part about Sage Ball is if you run him fast, like maybe like 285 plus, 285 plus is pretty good, then he'll cut most bridges that Zio likes to play. For example, Chudwig, ML Ludwig, Sigret, who else does Zio like to bridge with? Sometimes Fumir. Doesn't matter, but like those are the main ones. And because you're playing him behind a Barunga, it kind of deters him from picking stuff like ML Teiyu, right? Because Teiyu's forced to hit into the Barunga, so you can't pick ML Teiyu into Sage Ball either. And if you're 1-2, like let's say your first and second pick are like RNL, right? then it's also hard for the Zeo player to pick stuff like Rowana and P-Flan, right? Oh, first P-Flan doesn't work because you're playing Brunka on 3, right? So P-Flan doesn't even proc. And so you can play multiple win conditions with Sage Vault. It's really hard for the Zeo player to figure out a solution that can beat all of RNL, Brunka, and Sage Ball, right? Because yes, if you do pick Rowana, it'll beat the Brunka and Sage Ball, but you'll also have to address the RNL then. And then he's also very strong against Salome, right? If you fight against a Zeo player that picks Salome with this, what you can do is you can first sleeps the whole team, right? And then you strip 2 buffs as well. And then this, if you get a kill with the S3, it increases the duration of the sleep by 1 turn. So Salome will be 2 turns slept, which means she can't proc her Sweet Miracle. Or she does, but she'll still be asleep. So she skips her turn. So Sage Ball was very, very strong against Zeo Salome. Even against Biblis, he was good, right? Because you can sleep the Biblis, and then S3 something else, and then her passive will go on cooldown. So she can't cleanse. It's super strong too in that regard. Does Ball S3 kill Arnaud through miss? Yes, it does. That's the other nice part about Sage Ball too, right? He has a winning matchup against RNL. Like, if they ever pick RNL Zeo, you could just pick Brunka Sage Ball because Sage Ball SD Raw does around 10.5k. This build at least. That's 10.5k on a miss against RNL, which will one-shot her. So, all these matches where there's like an RNL, right? All these matches with an RNL and I have Sage Ball, he does around 10.5k on a miss. Yeah, as long as there's no mid, yeah. As long as there's no mid. Against Fumir, right? Even against Fumir, he's pretty good because let's say you go Brunka Sage Ball and they go Fumir as a bridge, then even if Fumir cuts your team, right? And Fumir evaporates your Brunka, Sage Ball will take the next turn after Fumir guaranteed, no matter who they have. And then you can S2 Soulburn, strip off the Fumir's stealth buff, and then kill her with the S3. And then your Brunka comes back to life. So there's an answer, like Brunka Sage Ball was a very, very strong answer to Zeo Cleave. Because there's too many things to worry about for the Zeo player. What is this? Yeah, like this. This is the perfect example, right? So, Zeo goes, Sage Ball goes, cuts, sleeps everyone, and then you one-shot the RNL, right? And even against, what's it called? Freeren, right? If people pick Freeren into you, Sage Ball's winning against Freeren as well, because you just perma-sleep Freeren, and even if you hit her while she slept, she doesn't wake up because of her barrier passive. So it had a winning matchup against Freeren too. So yeah, like the only Zeo bridges that would beat Sage Ball are Rowana and Blooming Lidica. But again, the problem with those two units is they're not very strong into RNL early pick, and they're also not strong into Freeren early pick. So if you have anything that can deter these two picks early in your 1-2, then it's honestly okay. You can just ban their first pick, like if it's like Nodos or something. Okay, that's enough about Sage Ball. You just want a lot of F, and then you don't care about ER because you're always hiding Sage Ball behind Brunka. Okay, let's talk about scales. This is a normal scales build. You want to get a lot of F if possible. And ER is like, some ER is nice, but it's not really that necessary anymore. Because Scales relies a lot on her fear as a win con, right? Obviously. Her Soulburn S1 being able to fear the whole team is so strong. You just gotta take that win con because you're the Scales player. I try to give her some crit chance as well in case I need to Soulburn and proc Cavill, right? which is why these pieces have crit chance modded in. It's low-key haram, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And then Spot Up Mouse Hair Tie obviously is the best artifact for scales if you're playing a cleave setup, because this lets you soul burn right away with scales if you need to skip S3, right? The other one, this one, you can't soul burn your scales right away. You always have to press a non-attack skill first, which is your S3. So this just gives you the added win condition of being able to soul burn right away. Like for example, if you're fighting against a Rowana, right, Zeo Rowana, and you're playing Brunka Scales, there's no point in S3ing your scales, right? You have to soul burn S1 to try and fear the Rowana. Knuckle, this was another unit I sometimes picked if I got target banned. Like if Briar was pre-banned and they early pick revive characters, then Knuckle is a pretty good replacement. Just because usually if they're pre-banning like Briar, then they're super slow. Which means I can kind of get away with picking Knuckle. As long as my draft is like stable enough with like scales and like free run, then it's hard for them to aggro it down, obviously. So you can go like Knuckle into like these Ruel picks, into like Nodos picks, right? Because you'll just turn reset them and maybe get a death break, and you can like wipe them with free run. So that's Knuckle. Veronica, honestly didn't really pick, because if I needed to pick something to counter DN, I would just go Ivana instead. So oh, the one, actually, no, that's not true. The one other case for Veronica is if it was a Zeo Harsteady pre-ban, then I would take Scales, Vero, and then Briar, because the only unit that beats like racing Scales is Veronica, right, as an imprint, because she's fast, she gives your team more speed, and she can deal with Scales immortality. So if you take the Veronica for yourself, it makes it a little bit hard for the other player that's racing to sort of deal with the Scales, sorry. So for example, if they're playing Summer Photogenic Renak, first they can't target the Scales, and then two, they don't have a way to bridge their team. Because Renak can only get, well, first Renak can't kill Lady, and so that means Lady will get the CR from the team and then be able to push up, and they can, I don't know, if you have like another imprint that's still alive or something, you can bridge off that way. So that was the other rare niche scenario. It wasn't that reliable, obviously, because sometimes people's RNLs are just faster, and if the RNL's faster than the Renak, then this doesn't work. But if the Renak's faster, then it's like a 50-50. Ivana only picked as a DN response. I mean, obviously, right? Nothing too crazy about her build, honestly. Okay. So the times I picked Frida are when ML Arya's picked. So I can show it here. And I'm playing Briar. Like, let me make that clear. If I'm playing Briar on 3 and I'm fighting Arya, then I would go Frida. Right, so as you can see here, it's only against Arya. So I have a Frida here, I have a Frida here, Frida here, Frida here, Frida here, Frida here. Yeah. So the reason why is because if you don't have a book early, then the only way to get a soul burn against Arya teams is by picking Frida. Otherwise, there's no other way to burn your Briar. You're just gonna get resisted. Right? You can't go 2 books 4-5 because they'll just ban one of them and you can't soul burn. So you would go Frida plus another force ban. Why she's on a green boot, I have no clue. I should probably change that, actually. What the fuck? Why is she on a green boot? Wait, why am I less HP with the green boot? Or less HP with the red boot? Ah, fuck it, bro. That's probably better. It's fine? Yeah, it's fine. It's like whatever. But, yeah, only against ML Arya, I would take Frida if I'm playing Briar on 3. It's a pretty good response. This as a 4 spend if they go Zio as a 4/5, right? Aki, you pick Aki if they go Christie, Freeren, Nodos. So for example, you can Soulburn S3 the backline, whether it's Freeren or Nodos. And then after you can start working on the other characters. I think Aki was very underrated. I can't lie. He's super fun too. I just wish he had a way to bridge himself, so that way I don't have to run like 286 speed and get more attack. But he did his job for the most part, at least. Acades. So there was 2 routes to beat Zio, right? The first route is going Barunka into Sage Ball, right? 3/4. The other way to beat Zio is going Acades plus +1. Now, what that +1 is, it could depend. Sometimes it's DN if it's ER Warfare. Other times it's Fire Politis. Usually it's one of those two though. And whether or not I go Barunka Sage Ball versus Acades Politis or Acades DN depends on what my 1-2 is. So for example, against people that pre-ban Scales RNL and first pick Nodos, right? Against those players, I always like to take Freeren plus Emma Ludwig, right? On 1-2, because it already establishes a super aggressive draft I want to go. I could go like Briar 3 or Zio 3, right? And so in those scenarios, I get Zio cleaved a lot, right? Most people would go Zio 3 against Freeren plus Emma Ludwig 1-2 pick. And then so you have to respond to that Zio on 3. So why you don't go Barunka Sage Ball in that scenario is because Freeren and Chudwick are way too weak against Zio bridges, right? If I show here, let's just see it. Katie's Politis, right? I thought I had maybe it's not updated. I don't think this is updated yet. But if I had like Freeren plus Chudwick here, and they have first pick Nodos, and then they go Zio 3, right? You can't go Barunka Sage Ball because you'll die to Rowana for sure, right? Because Rowana is very, very strong against even the first 2 units of Freeren and Chudwick. So you'll just die to Rowana. And you're also weak to DN, right? DN will also beat the Barunka Sage Ball draft because your Freeren will just die straight up. So you can't go Barunka Sage Ball in that scenario because your 1-2 in this case isn't they can't deal with Zio bridges, right? So instead you have to go Acades 3 plus Politis 4 or DN 4 depending on the warfare to sort of deter the bridges that Zio likes to pick that can beat the Freeren and the Chudwick. How I get fast like you? Bro, I'm not fast this year, dude. I'm praying for a 1 out of 5 for you, man. Good luck, good luck. But for example, right? The DN, right? If obviously DN beats the Freeren Chudwick 1-2. So if you go Acades Fire Politis, it kind of stops the Zio player from picking DN because it could be DGen Politis. The Acades could outcut the DN, right? Because I'm like 290 speed. DN only gets 25% push, so if it's like a slower DN, then it won't be able to bridge. So it stops him from going DN, stops him from going Rowana because it's a Fire Politis. They have to pick like other stuff. For example, they have to pick stuff like Taeyu, but Taeyu is really weak against Freeren, right? Because Freeren just doesn't take damage. So if they pick units that can deal with the Acades Politis but can't deal with their Freeren, you can just ban their Nodos, for example, and then your Freeren can just 1v4, right? And I'm sure in some of these matches that's exactly what happened. So maybe like I don't know, maybe somewhere here. Like here, for example, right? Frieren, as long as they get up immunity, he has no way to kill the Frieren, right? That's just one example. So just finding different win cons when you're playing these lines. When you're playing to counter Zio, you have to protect your 1 and 2 picks. It's the most important thing. So you can protect your 1 and 2 by going Brunka Sage Ball depending on your first 2 picks, or you can go Katie's Politics depending on your first 2 picks as well. So again, you need Isles Share for this, because you need to push up your bridge. So whether that's fast Frieren or whether that's RNL, they need to take the next turn. Sometimes what you can go is you go ML Ludwig on 4. This is an insane tech. But if you have scales plus Acades, what you can do, right? So in this match, for example, you can put Ludwig in the front, right? And then Ludwig can't die. And then he'll also get the push-up from Acades' Idol Shear, as well as the fact that the Zio can't soul burn, otherwise Ludwig will take the push, right? So this is an alternate route you can go as well, instead of going the Brunka Sage Ball here. I didn't go Brunka Sage Ball because Brunka was pre-ban. So I went Acades plus Ludwig to sort of deter him from picking good Zio bridges, right? And then so he drafted everything, like pretend this is a Frieren. It's pretty much a Frieren, right? Like Ludwig can never die against a team against like this. So Teiyu goes, he can't kill anything. Ludwig takes the next turn, and then just blows up his ulti. So some rare like lines like that you can also do, maybe. Kohli, I would pick it with Luna as a 4-5 if they went Acades. So the 2 ways you would beat Acades if you're playing Luna is ML Roana is one of them. Not Dian. Dian's not that good because Dian can never kill the Acades. So instead of Acades, you go Kohli instead. And the reason why it's Kohli is you can S2 Luna, and then this will outcut the Acades, right? Whether it's on Idol's Cheer, whether it's on Eternus, right? Well, as long as your Kohli doesn't land a debuff, that is. But if your Kohli can end up taking the next turn against the Acades, you can just rip S3 and stun her. So I liked going this as a Acades response. I'm on 200F, just to be able to attack most things. And then this artifact's really good because it gives me 10 souls. So if you're playing scales early, you can stack souls with Kohli and then be able to soul run your Briar. So that was a pretty good bridge option as an imprint. I think she's definitely the best imprint for sure. We'll go to Spirit Eye Celine next. She used to be on Photogenic, but I swapped her to Windrider. And this is just your normal Celine. Nothing too crazy. You want to cleave Celine, so you want around this speed to be faster than your Frieren. So Celine can, if, for example, if they're playing Yenya and you're playing Celine, you can S3, get up Immortality for your Frieren. So by the time she takes her turn and activates Yenya, none of your team will die because of Immortality. So that's like one example. And the reason why she's not a Photogenic is because I gave my Photogenic to RB. Fada. So the times I drafted Fada is if the line that they go is Brunka, Nodos, Zio. So something like this, right? My win rate wasn't too high with Fada, but as you can see, in pretty much all the games I have Fada, it's Brunka, Nodos, Zio. The reason why is because Fada is really strong to all 3 of those characters, right? For example, she can't get targeted by Zio. She's gonna silence the Nodos with Soulburn, and she can Death Break Arunka. So one unit can like completely shut out 3 characters by herself. So as long as you have a good 4 or 5 to address what they pick as a bridge, then you're okay. And so most people, they like going Rowana, which is why I swapped from Booked into Guide to a Decision on immunity. So that way Rowana can't reset me, and then I can still soul burn, right? So for example, in this match, because I was on. Wait, where's my oh, there you go. Because my Fatal was on immunity, I could just eat everything and then just soul burn and then it's fine. Also, Roana's really weak with Barunka because Barunka, she needs to be in front, right? So if they ever pick Roana against you, it's like pretty shit for the most part. So other scenarios is if they're playing solo DPS Reren and my Feta is able to guarantee proc and then get to soul burn off and then win the game. So it's another one gone. That's pretty much it. Imprints. Straze, fast Straze to be faster than free run again because for the same scenario, right? Like if they're playing like Yenya or like super high HP target, you want your Straze to go first, kill one off, and then your free run can kill. Imprint. Okay, let's talk about P Flan. Her strength was she was really strong against Salome, right? She's really strong against RNL as well because you can soul burn onto RNL even if you miss, you land bomb and stun her, and she's really good into Ruel too. So if you're playing Zio, because assuming you have enough souls, you can start once you death break the Ruel, you can start soul burning into Ruel as many times as you want until she dies or gets stunned after her revive. So 3 units that are really annoying for Zio kind of get countered by P Flan. Also her swift attack is so strong, right? So if you pick this with free run, you can boost up free run with the P Flan S2 and then give swift attack, and then you can S3 S1 back to back with death break. I think this artifact's mandatory just because against the units with evasion, right? Stuff like RB, for example, too. You need to be able to land the bomb and stun. So because it ignores evasion check here, you can just bomb a target and then stun them for later. Ning, I tried to make this unit cope work against very tank down barrier drafts, but this unit sucks ass. Unit also sucks ass. Okay. We're gonna talk about Dian now. So my Dian build actually changed. Now, as you can see, like it looks like I have no damage, which is true. My damage is pretty low, but I invested more into F. Because later in the season, there are a lot more people that are playing ER, right? So if I'm playing like Zio Dian as a line to deal with like Estelle Biblis or something like that, her S2 needs to strip. So I swapped from HP ring to effectiveness ring, so that way this can strip on the S2. Because if you strip the Biblis and the Estelle and you get to S3, the game's instantly over. Like if you steal all of them, you just win the game. So having the F was really nice, like as a nice adjustment last 2 days or 3 days or whatever it was that I swapped to this. Because her damage isn't what makes her good. It's the fact that she can bridge and seal the enemy, right? That's where her value comes in as a unit. So she needs to be able to do that, which is why I swapped to this. Next unit. Oh, and one more thing about Dian. In ER Frenzy, these units are absolutely broken. So if it's ER Frenzy, I like to pick Dian a lot more. Okay, so next is Albaid Ludwig. A very strong unit as well. This would be my 4th prio unit behind Scales, Arno, Nodos, and it would be Albaid as a 4 because since I'm pre-banning Bellion, Albaid's value is like giga strong, right? It's giga high. You need Weakening. Weakening is absolutely mandatory because any debuff you get 15'd on, this unit you'll just lose. It's very similar to Light 10A, where if you don't land her debuffs, then you lose the game essentially. So having Weakening to just sort of get less RNG is super important. You don't even need Pursuit in my case because he does enough damage anyways, even without Pursuit. And then I'd rather have the high F to be able to tag other characters. Obviously this artifact is mandatory for playing a cleave style because you just need the souls right away to do the damage. And that's pretty much it for him. The other nice part about this, right? I mentioned Brunka Sage Ball earlier. If Albeid is somewhere in your 1-2, and as you play Brunka Sage Ball, then if your Sage Ball gets to press Silver in S2, S3, he'll actually bridge up the Ludwig. So your Ludwig can go after your Sage Ball, which is pretty funny. Talk about Frieren. This is definitely my most picked unit of the season, for sure. I don't even think it's close. Like, it might be Briar, but I stopped picking Briar. Wait, no, I don't think. Wait, I'll have to refresh. Oh, it is still Briar. Okay, never mind. I thought Frieren was my most picked unit, but I guess not. Ignore these defeats. I was trolling. It's my second most picked unit. But the lines for Frieren, obviously, if you're Briar cleaving, the Frieren early pick is super good. If not, then Frieren early is kind of bad. I don't really pick Frieren early anymore if I'm not Briar cleaving. Because even when you're playing anti-Zeo, right? Beforehand, all of the Zeo bridges would just die to Frieren S3, right? So if you're playing the Idle Shear line, and you push up Frieren and she S3, she can like one-tap Koli, she can one-tap SBA, she can one-tap like Rowana and Teiyu, stuff like that, right? One-tap Zeo. But all the Zeo bridges now, they're super tanky. So for example, she can't kill P-Flan, she can't kill Albeid Ludwig, and obviously she can't kill Dian, right? So her value as an Idle Shear pusher is really, really low now. And so because of that, you can't early pick Frieren if you think they're gonna Zeo cleave. You can only last pick Frieren if their team has no damage to deal with the Frieren and you need a force ban. So instead of going Frieren now as a 1-2, if I think they're gonna play Zeo, I just play Albeid instead. I think Albeid is much better against all the Zeo bridges. But disregarding Zeo, if you're playing the Briar line, obviously, then Frieren scales, Briar is still really strong, right? You could play like the Calvo line after, you could play Dian later as well. It's just that stuff now is just way too tanky, even without like Biblis and stuff, even without mid. Like because I'm on a fast build, stuff is just way too tanky for me to kill. So, and you need to be on a fast build, right, for cleaving. You can't afford to lower the speed and go like a Giga Nuke damage on, because then she just can't take the turn. So yeah, I kind of stopped picking Frieren early. None of these I picked at all. So what gear score is that Frieren? I think it's 102 average. I do have the Imprint Circuit on, but I can show it without the stats real quick. Actually, I'll do it for these two, just because it doesn't really matter. So yeah. Definitely though, my Frieren still has my best DPS gear, because I needed to kill stuff, right? So it's 102 ES. Where were we on? Oh, SBA. So I have two SBAs. One is a slow one, and another one's like a kind of a fast one. This is my fast SBA because depending on the circumstance, I need to be able to take the next turn with SBA. So for example, if I'm playing Luna as my only opener, then I would take the fast SBA, right? Because I need SBA to take the turn. If I pick the too slow one, then she can't take the turn. So I'll pick this one instead. I would only pick the slow one if I have a double opener setup and my Luna goes second, or like my buff stripper goes second. So Briar Zeo, for example, or Zeo Luna, for example, right? Where my Luna and my Briar goes second. If SBA cuts in front of the Briar and Luna, then you insta lose, right? Because they're still gonna have immunity. So I'll pick the slower one with super high effectiveness, so that way my Zeo can go first, and then my Luna or my Briar, and then SBA can stun everything. Otherwise, if it's just a solo opener, then I'll pick the fast one. The other thing about SBA too is that she had really strong matchups against Biblis, right? Because you could just straight up stun her. Strong matchups against Estelle, against Barunka, right? Anything that can just get controlled, she was pretty strong. She's still one of the, I think the only unit that. No, that's not true anymore, because we have Light 10A. No. This is still true. Yeah, she's the only debuff for bridge that can hold books still. I believe that. I think that's right. I don't think there's no other debuff mages. Like stuns. When I mean debuff, I mean like stuns or like sleeps or like stuff like that, right? That can hold book. I think it's still just SBA. So she has a very niche usage case in that regard. Next is Sharklot. And Sharklot was good as a Zeo bridge, obviously, with the Senya artifact. This is like the KHM tech that I stole. I think it's really, really strong. Just because if they pick like evasion and like what's it, like Tori, like sometimes people, they just like to stack hella barriers against Zeo teams for some reason, then like Sharklot would be pretty good. I think it's better if I just show it here because what's my win rate with there? 75%. So like, yeah, against a team like this, for example, where I know Sharklot can kill 3 of them, and then it's just a 1v1 against, or it's a 3v1 against, sorry, 4v1 against the DN, right? So Sharklot can go, kill off these 2 with 2 Soulbirds, and then just DN left. Or like here, right? For some reason he's picked Tori, so I can just burn my Sharklot again. Here, right? Again, Sharklot just keeps burning, right? I'm just getting as many kills as I can with the Sharklot, and then I can stabilize my job with the scales. So she had a pretty good usage rate for me, honestly. For Mir, I didn't pick. Mort, I only picked if they had counterattacks as a force ban. Nothing special. Xeno, same thing. Only if they had a fuck ton evasion and I needed a force ban. Politica was pretty rare when I did pick her. It's if I'm playing Zeo and they have Acades or Sage Ball without Barunka, which is really bad, obviously. So I didn't really pick Blooming at all because why would you pick stuff like Sage Ball without Barunka, right? It's just really bad. ML Ludwig, this unit was insane for me too. I picked this unit a fuck ton, like later on in the season. Right, 75% win rate with Ludwig because Ludwig was super good against people that like to pick RNL with like RB, for example. Sometimes Ruel too. Like for some reason, right? A lot of people, they liked picking RB into the Zeo drafts, which just gets destroyed by Ludwig. And I think it's because I'm second picking Abe, so it invites a lot of RB. But yeah, if I have the other Ludwig on 4, he just destroys like these evasion comps. And he has a really good matchup against Ruel too. Obviously the reasoning is because he can just kill the Ruel twice, like super quickly. And then RB, obviously he can kill twice as well. And then evasion, like Arnold has evasion, which just gets shredded by Ludwig too with his Hitchens buff. So yeah, Ludwig was really, really good this season for me. I think he kind of made a comeback, like honestly. Right, all these matches where they just have RB RNL, I would just slam Ludwig and they would just die. Right, a lot of RNL RB. So, which is why I gave my Ludwig really, really good gear. Again, right, 101 ES, so super strong on as much damage as I can. I think last 2 days he was my most common Zeo bridge, as a 4 or 5 at least, for sure. And then Lotus Ring obviously really good. It's better than Tiger Hills because depending on your draft, if it's support warfare, he can soul burn an extra time rather than if he was on book, and obviously he just gets more attack too. So yeah, Elena didn't pick at all because I was the one Briar cleaving for the most part. Ada, sometimes I would go Ada if I have Luna on 3, right? So I'm 12-1 with Ada against like these games right here, right? Sometimes Ada would be a good bridge, just to be able to push up my RNL or like my Salome or something like that. Yeah, that's in like these matches. But obviously you can only pick Ada if you have Luna. Like she's so bad with any other opener. And a lot of these they have like Tori and shit. So Ada's really strong against Tori because she'll just double tap kill her. So that was pretty good. Going to the next character. Oh yeah, obviously this build, you want effectiveness because you want to be able to land stuns on the Biblis, so that way she can't cleanse with their passive. The attack doesn't really matter. You just need like some, I guess, and obviously the speed's important too. Okay, Light Tene. Yuna's kind of a scam. She was on the Umbral Keystones artifact, but because Ludwig kind of replaced her in that job, like instead of going Umbral Keystones 10-8, Aubade is just a 10 times better pick. So her role changed for me, where I would pick her with Luna, and if they have Arya in their draft, and I need to draft 2 books on 4-5, then one of them will be Light Tene, because she can sort of debuff their whole team. Because I have book, right? It's like a Soul Burn Luna, and I can S3, and then she becomes a win con from there. My other book would be like SVA, I think. So I just need 2 debuffers that can hold book and solo carry the game from there. Like obviously you can't Aubade 4-5 there, right? Because he only gives 10 souls. So then I would go to 10 here, which is why I swapped it over. So that would be the only usage case for her. Flan, also a pretty rare pick. I didn't pick too much. Only if they had like, if I was playing Briar on 3 and they went like Elena without Estelle Biblis and no Barunka, which is like never. So like yeah, I pretty much never picked Flan. Kind of bad this season. None of these I picked. DDR Whistle. Maybe like 5 games I would pick this, because I needed a way to bridge up my team and debuff them, right? 260 is a little bit slow, so I think a couple of my losses it's because my DDR wasn't fast enough to cut. But he did do his job a good fair bit of the time, at least. So now I can focus my bottles on this artifact, so he can get 20% CR. But yeah, DDR as a Zeo bridge, it's not bad. There's definitely better. Like Aubade 10 times better, but DDR is not the worst. Is it gonna be on YouTube? Yeah. Here's my Zeo. So, Lotus Ring, yep. 200 effectiveness. He needs at least 200, right? With his imprint concentration. Right, sometimes he just needs to land against ER or against Arya teams without Soul Burn. So, effectiveness is important. He has some crit chance. The reason is because sometimes I'm playing Free Renzio Cavill. So as you can see, right, in the lines where I have Zeo, Fear, and Cavill, what I can do is S1 my Zeo and then proc my Cavill that way. Like for example this match here, right? I could just hit a light target for like extra 15% crit chance, and then Cavill can extinct the Ruel, and then Fearin can just kind of clean up the rest from there. Same here, right? S1 the Zeo, Cavill can extinct and the Fearin can clean up, or the Nodos. Same here as well, right? So Crit chance was pretty. It was pretty nice. But yeah, besides that, this was my main opener of the season for sure. What's my just regular win rate with Zio? It's 58, so it's not like crazy, but because I played him so many times, I guess it's bound to be a little bit lower. Yeah, so the times I'll go Zio is if they early pick RNL, right? Then I have to go Zio no matter what. Even if they go Brunka, just because I need a way to guarantee take the first turn. I can't race RNL with Briar. It's not good, even with an imprint, right? Because it's RNL, right? She could be any speed. So yeah, just a bunch of Zio for the most part. Okay, let's go on to the next character. A Laika, I changed this build to be able to one-shot Nodos. I gave her book so that way she's self-sufficient. But honestly, A Laika was still pretty bad as a unit for me. I didn't know what was the best build for her. I know like on paper she's really good, but I was struggling to figure out how like the best way to draft her and the best way to utilize her. Like I was like swapping builds between like a fast one on Umbral. I tried her on Famir's Artifact. I tried her on Book with like different speed thresholds, but I couldn't figure out the best build for her. So I ended up selling with this, just to be able to kill Nodos and extinct her or him. If it's like a solo Nodos DPS comp. So yeah. None of these I picked. DPS Politis I picked a little bit. The reason why she's this fast is because I need to be able to cut DNs, right? So if they pick DN against me, or if I pick this into DN and she gets through, she'll get a 30% CR push versus 25 from DN. So as long as I'm 5% above DN on the CR bar, she'll take the turn. And then she can reverse cleave them and leave DN for last. So that'll be the times I'll go Politis. Besides that, I don't think I picked Politis that much. No kizzy. Yeah, I didn't pick Politis too. Oh yeah, with the KDs. That's true. I picked a lot with the KDs. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, here, right? I'll go Politis because his DN can't bridge. His Sage Ball can't bridge. Yeah. Seems pretty standard. What up, Monster? Also, what's up, Eclipse? Yeah, sorry, I didn't say hi to you earlier. Gala? I would go Gala if I had Salome and... Well, at least Salome early. And their draft had no way to deal with Gala because of her damage limit buff or whatever. And eventually she could just kill all the targets by herself. She'll be in perma stealth with Wind Rider and then just win the game. This S1 does so much damage. I don't know why. Like, especially on a Soulburn, this shit, like, it does like 17k to like targets with... Who did I do 17k one time? Fuck. I did like 17k to a Nodos. I was like, what the fuck? And then like, it like killed him when he was like above half HP. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this character is insane. But yeah, Gallo was pretty good. LHC only picked versus Zio Coley, right? Like literally all of my games with LHC, it's just Zio Coley. Right? Zio Coley, Coley, Zio Coley, Zio Coley, Zio Coley. No other times I would go. I don't know why I went LHC here. That seems pretty troll. But yeah, it's pretty much only against Zio Coley for the most part. Because even if Zio pushes back LHC, because you proc Durandal twice, and the second one you get this one right here, so you get like a 24% push, plus 50, right? So in total that's like what, 74? It's not enough for the Coley to cut, and then you can just wipe their team. None of these I picked. This is my Degen Politis. If I pick this, it pretty much means I lost because I'm relying on Abyssal Crown procs. But if I do get the Crown proc, because Weakening boosts artifact proc chance for some reason, so it becomes a 42% chance to stun. And I have 2 chances of doing it with this one and then this one. So if I stun, then I win the game. If not, then I lose. So this is like an RNG win con for sure. Says pretty hard for me to pick as a Zeo on 3 angle sometimes. And if I just need like splash damage, then I'll go Says. Here's my Vildred. Some of my best DPS gear as well. And I pick him as a second pick sometimes when I'm racing, or Veronica. It kind of depends on the scenario. He does a fuck ton of damage, I can't lie. So yeah, very good imprint, honestly. BBK, standard BBK. I didn't change anything on him. It's kind of bad. Here's my fast Teiyu. It's kind of useless now because no one picks Dian early. Or I mean, I don't pick Dian early anymore, right? So the old Teiyu fast build was you would pick this against Veronica if you had Dian, and you would outcut the Veronica. But I mean, I'm not early picking Dian anymore, so like, why am I picking the fast Teiyu? So I nerfed this gear a fuck ton, and I am running Glutton, the plus 15 one. So yeah. Celine, I gave her a fast build. This is to cut Elena's. Right. The slow one, she can't cut Elena. So with this fast one, she's able to cut Elena and then kill her off. And then the rest of your team can play, not having to worry about invincibility. Obstac I didn't pick. Didn't pick at all. SP we talked about already. Nodos. Okay. You go Nodos if RNL and Scales are banned and your first pick. Then you'll go Nodos. Like, Nodos is the third prior unit behind RNL and Scales. He's a win con by himself, obviously. Right. It's kind of stupid how if you get 15 once on this unit, you insta win the game, right? If they go debuff first against Nodos and one of them misses on him, then he automatically wins the game. For both sides, right? So he was a little bit cringe. I think he was a terrible addition to the game, honestly. But I had him geared because you're playing to win, and yeah. Holy Sack, obviously. Immunity is really nice, right? It just adds that extra layer of RNG. Yeah, kind of a stupid unit, but it's what it is. Arnold or Scales first? Prio Scales for sure. Here's my photogenic RV. Only pick this if they early pick Scales, right? And then just do a lot of damage. We all know how photogenic RV is. I shouldn't have to explain this one. Hikari, I would sometimes pick this on 3 if I'm playing a really weird Zeo Dian line. So I'll show that one too real quick. The one rate wasn't too high though, but at least I think. So playing Dian here, Zeo here, and then Hikari on 3. Yeah, it was a 50 win con, so it wasn't the best to draft. But the idea is, I'm trying to bait in like Ivana picks, and then just play off of that. But it didn't end up working as well as I thought. So I kind of stopped doing it. But that was the general idea, where you go Zeo Dian, and then if they pick like an Ivana on 3, you can slam Hikari to just ignore the Ivana completely. But it looks like it didn't end up being that good for me, so that's the reason why I stopped running that comp. Gloomy Rain. You know what's funny? She actually had a usage for me this season. So funny. If I needed a book on a speed imprint. So This match here, right? This is the perfect example. I have Scales, Freeran, Briar, and then he goes, I'm a Poly Slane, right? He goes Zeo. I know I'm gonna ban Zeo. Shuri, I want Shuri as a fast imprint. Now, I need to go another book, right? Because his team has ER with Ivana. So if I don't debuff the Nodos or Ivana, then I have no way to kill them. So I go Gloomy Rain to land Death Break against the Nodos, and then I can just kill him from there pretty easily. Here too, right? I go the Gloomy Rain here because of the fact that I have a bridge already. I guess I don't even really need a bridge. I have RNL, right, with the imprint. So he'll take the next turn, and then, or she'll take the next turn. And then I Soulburn my Ran, restrict and Death Break everything. And then whichever takes the next turn can just kill them off. Pretty much. This one, it's the same scenario where I need to land Death Break on Nodos, but I end up just getting outsped, so it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, kind of worked. Don't you need F on DN if you're on Hikari with her? Yes, that's why my DN has F. Okay, I think we're almost done here. We're already on, like, Gloomy Rain, right? My other Zeo, the slow one that I used to run, but I don't use this anymore. Gyros I sometimes picked as a 5 if I'm anti-Zeo cleaving and they don't have any damage to, or they have like too many debuffs to deal with Gyros. Then I would pick this. End up being pretty good. Christie sometimes, right, if I need to protect my Nodos. Okay, fast Teiyu, or not, sorry, slow Teiyu on Giga damage. He can kill stuff through Scales Mitt with his build. If he gets Death Break on and a crit. He can pretty much kill everything with this build. So I picked this Teiyu a lot, honestly. Plus 30 Glutton, right? And then just, if you have Scales, right, and you're playing Zeo Teiyu, you can put Teiyu in the front and he'll absorb all the mid damage. And he won't take any damage because he'll have invincibility. So that's a really good tech as well. He's good versus RB, he's good against RB too, because RB is just forced to hit him and then he'll just counterattack and kill him off twice. And then because he's so slow, he'll never take a turn against the RB, so the RB is just forced to keep hitting him and keep getting countered, and then eventually you just win. So yeah, very, very good response to RB as well. Rowana, again, some scenarios where they draft like Sage Ball, Acades, and Nodos or Salome, right? Those 4 units are really weak into Rowana. Then you would pick this and then just reset them and then hopefully win the game. You need as much F as you can. Some damage is pretty good too. Here's my Caval. Again, I picked this with Zeo or Briar. Not Luna, because Luna you have to S3, so you can't proc. But in the other two opener scenarios, because he has so much damage, right? Sometimes he doesn't even need Death Break to kill if their team is pretty squishy. And then the fact that he extincts now is so good. So it's specifically useful in the case with Zeo, where if they pick Ruel, you can just pick Caval forward, you can just S1 Zeo, and then Caval can extinct the Ruel for you, and then hopefully win the game off of that, or extinct the DPS so they don't have any more damage. And I think that is it. Oh wait, there's one more unit. My Barunga. Yes. Oh, why does my Glen not have gear? My bad. So, yeah, here's my Barunga. just gave her as much tank as possible. I would pick this as the first pick if it was Scales Nodo's pre-ban. And I'll take this over RNL because I could just play Zeo Cleave against the RNL, right? And I'll be able to protect my comp with Barunka. So if I go like Zeo, Abe, Zeo... Wait, no, sorry. Barunka, Abe, Zeo against the RNL, that's pretty good. I can play like the Zeo line later too, maybe. So my Barunka win rate... obviously, the other times I'll go Barunka, I already mentioned earlier, is if I'm anti-Zeo cleaving. So I pick it on 3, and then just play Stage Ball. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Whoa, that's a lot of red. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I try to keep it as short as possible, but I'm sure I yapped a lot. I will show the frame again because I didn't do this last time. Yeah, so we finished rank 6 or 7, I think. Anyways, it looks alright. I like this this one and this one more though. Anyways, if there's any questions, please leave it in the comments or write it in Twitch chat, and I will answer some stuff. Besides that, I will call it here, and I will see you guys later.